I think actually that is why people love vinyl now, and there's like a resurgence, is because like you miss holding something that is yours.
I wanna hold your vinyl for 30 hours. You can be yours.
Well, I appreciate you both so much for doing this. My name is Adam, and this podcast is about the both of you and your journey in music. Sweet. So I always start off with where you're both born and raised. Were you guys born in the same area, raised together, or did you meet later down the line in life?
I think we were born holding hands, metaphorically.
Amazing.
In the old temple of Israel. That's in
the old Yisrael in about 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So born in Israel. Now, where were you born, Mica?
I was born in L.A., Santa Monica.
Okay. And grew up in Santa Monica?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Eli? Were you born and raised in LA as well?
Oregon, he said.
Oregon. Okay. Cool. Well, talk to me real quick. I'm from San Diego, Southern California. What was it like growing up in Santa Monica?
It was awesome. I mean, good. It was always, great to be outside. Get some good vitamin D levels.
Sure.
I think I don't really have to take supplements, so that's nice. No, but it was amazing. It's an amazing area to grow up in. I can't say a bad thing about it.
And how did you get into music?
I can totally say a bad thing about Santa Monica.
You can. Let's hear it.
Nice.
I'm joking. How'd you get into music, Mica?
My parents forced it down my throat, actually.
Really?
Yeah, they made me take piano lessons. Same with Eli. But yeah, I wanted to quit, day after day, and I hated it. And just like one moment, it kind of just switched when I saw jazz being performed at a rehearsal. Mm-hmm. I'd never heard it. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just like, classical and read this and very regimented. And so that's why I kind of hated it. But jazz was this kind of like, it is this free kind of, you don't have to read music, and it's this like, it seemed fun. And so that's why I started liking music, and piano specifically.
And were your parents musical at all, or just happened to be like, no, we should throw them in piano lessons just because?
Yeah. Just, I think they rightfully were like, every kid should at least try to play an instrument.
Yeah. And then when did you find jazz and go down that hole?
I think I was like 11.
Oh, wow.
Or 12. Yeah. I'd been playing piano for a few years. And then I think at around like 11 or 12, I really started like taking it seriously and actually practicing,
Sure. Were you in like the jazz band at school?
Yeah, I was in all the jazz bands, and then I was in like, after school jazz bands, and I studied jazz all the way through college.
Oh, you did? Where did you go to school for? You went for music, obviously.
Yeah, I went to WashU in St. Louis.
Oh, cool. And was that something where you had a like audition process to get in there as well?
I think I just sent them some. I recorded myself playing, and I just sent them that tape. It wasn't like a formal audition, but I did audition for like other schools. I hate auditions. It's just like you playing in like a really weird stale room with like 4 guys behind a desk. It's like the worst thing ever.
For sure. It's just so awkward, I bet. Like, okay, go ahead, show us what you got.
How bad do you feel for actors?
I'm sorry?
Oh my God.
How bad do you feel for actors? This is the worst. It honestly, I think it's the hardest out of all of them.
Yeah. I can't imagine
trying to perform like when there's no one there, like Yeah, it's
I
awful.
would have, there's no way I could ever do that, to do like go into an audition like that. And I would always imagine like if I went in there, I'd just be like, okay, they already know exactly who they're going to choose. It's just a waste of my time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, I'm not getting this. So who
Or
cares?
like every time I'd go in, I'd be like, oh, I'm not going to get this. So, but yeah, I guess that's a whole different life and story, but like, wow. Well, okay. So you ended up going to school, you go to college for piano. Is that what you majored in, jazz piano?
Yeah, it was just general music. So
Okay.
piano and composition and theory and all that fun stuff.
Did you play in a band aside from the school stuff growing up?
No, I wasn't like a band guy. And that's like I wasn't into that kind of stuff. I just did jazz stuff, which is it's not really you can't. I think they're different worlds.
Sure.
Band stuff and then jazz. Jazz.
Mhm.
Because no, and that's where Eli comes in. Eli was the band guy. He was in a bunch of bands,
Okay.
and we actually we met in a band that wasn't our own band.
Okay. I'll hear that story. Yeah, I want to hear that story. Well, Eli, talk to me about, you were born in Oregon. Talk to me about that. What part of Oregon?
In Portland, Oregon, at Legacy and Mental Hospital at 4:55 a.m. November 10th, 1994.
Okay.
The dark and
Very
stormy.
specific.
The dark.
How much did you weigh?
I weighed 486 pounds.
Wow. I hats off to your mom. Jeez.
She
Big lady.
she can handle it. Yeah, Portland. It's awesome. It's stunningly beautiful. It's mellow. It's gray a lot of the time.
Mhm.
It rains a lot.
Unlike Santa Monica.
Yeah, it's very green in Santa Monica. They're pretty different places. The color green is a dark, intensely dark, thick green that's everywhere. It's like living in a forest. Yeah, I love it.
And how did you get into musical family?
My mom forced me to take piano. Same thing.
Okay, similar.
And then which I didn't like, but then I wanted to take guitar lessons, so I did that for a little bit. So and
how old were you when you decided, or when did you want to take that guitar lessons? 9.
And just to be clear, my guitar proficiency is still at a 9-year-old's level.
Okay.
All I have is that 1 year of guitar lessons in terms of my quality of musicianship. Yeah, that's how.
So 9, you play. Okay, but it sounds like you're in bands. Did you play guitar in bands, or like, how did you continue?
That was that's like where I went from there. It's kind of starting when I was like 13. I kind of started getting obsessed with wanting to be in a band and playing in bands, and it was kind of like a progression of things, like just getting more and more obsessed with like Green Day and Blink-182 and like those kind of bands, and seeing Green Day for the first time when I was 14, like waiting all day in line to see them, like literally like 16 hours. And then
where'd you see them? Green Day is like the first band I ever really got into as well. So I'm curious.
And that's like for true for so many people, which is awesome. It was in Seattle. It was when I was 14, so it would have been 2008.
Okay. I'm trying to think what record that would have been.
Breakdown tour.
Okay.
The one after American Idiot, which I loved at the time. I was so obsessed with that record, like every single song.
So you were just pumped all day? You got there that early to wait in line for 16 hours? Is that what you said?
We got there like 5 a.m. or something, or before.
Was it general admission?
Yeah.
Okay. So you needed to get in the front.
We were in like front and center. It was like right. It was like crazy. And like when you're 14, you're like willing to do that, which is awesome.
Okay.
Like.
Was that like life changing? That's when you were like, I'm gonna do this music thing.
No, it was life changing. I was like crying the whole car. Like it was so intense, right, for me. Like I love them so much. Like it just exposed me on like a really deep level, and like awakened something kind of. And I think from that moment forward, it was like, yeah, I'm doing this, like without a doubt. There's no question. I have to. Like it was kind of that crazy like belief that got kind of inspired that has actually not gone away, which I'm very grateful for.
And you started playing with some friends, or when do you start writing songs and playing in a band?
I had like a group of friends in like middle school and high school that we started playing together and kind of trying to write songs and like practicing in my parents' basement, and then we started doing like weird shows. Like we played at like, I remember the first show I ever played was like the night Obama got elected. Yeah, 2008. That makes sense.
Okay.
It was the night Obama got elected because my mom worked for like local, local Portland politics. So there was like a city council election party, and they let us play it. I can't believe it.
Oh wow.
And so
did you guys play American Idiot, a cover of that song?
we did. We played a Green Day cover first. We must have. We probably only had like 4 songs that we had written, so the rest were covers.
Okay, that's cool though. Wow. And then that was your first show, and then how do you eventually get down to LA? Did you go to school for music as well?
No, yeah, I mean that was a totally different process. I had 3 LA attempts of moving to LA. The first one I interned for this producer, and I was a kid, and I was 16, so it didn't make sense. And that was very short lived. And then
real quick on that, did they find your song somewhere or like?
No, I found them. Bugged the shit.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually met them because I went to this Berklee School of Music summer camp in Boston.
Oh, okay. I've talked to other people that have went to that.
And then Mica went to that too, a different year.
Okay.
And yeah, so I did that. I tried once, and then I tried again with my high school band when we were like 18, but we were still so young. I'm like, LA is like an intense place, especially up here. And yeah, it was like a series of like different things that kind of kept pulling me back. I met this producer, this awesome producer named Tim Pagnotta.
Oh yeah, from Sugar Cult.
From Sugar Cult, yeah, exactly. And he like was just like super nice to me, and like didn't have to be, but was, and I'm so grateful to him because he just like, I had this one meeting with him once where I played him stuff, and he was like, he just basically said like, you can do this, but like you're not good enough yet, and like you need to go get better.
Interesting.
He said like bluntly, and like, here's what you need to do. Like your songs like aren't clear enough. They're not like, and like go listen to this shit. Like go do this. And like it was great because I did. I like took it really seriously. I went back to Portland and like hid in my parents' basement for a year and a half and like just wrote songs only. And then yeah, my girlfriend and I ended up moving to like the next year, and we just moved.
Did you then, contact him again and say, hey, I've been working on this? Like,
yeah, we keep in touch. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then when do you end up meeting Mica?
So when I moved to LA, I was after like a year of being here, I started playing in this band called Blood Boy, which is our friend Lexi's band, because she needed a guitar player. And then the keyboard player of that band left, and then Mica became the keyboard player of that band. And then that's how
I slid in.
Now Mica can talk because I need to take 3 bites.
Yeah. So you this was a mutual friend, and that's how you joined the band. Like, how do you join this band then, Mica?
Yeah, I mean, I got a text from the band's manager, actually, Lexi's manager, who I still, I'm close with today. And he was just like, do you want to play keys in this band? And I was like, kind of at the point, starting out your career, I was just like kind of saying yes to everything. And, it was a new thing for me to just be like in a band. And I was like, okay, like, sure, whatever, I guess. And I showed up, and that's where I saw Eli rocking out with his weird hair, his weird wispy hair.
Not anymore. Gone.
Not anymore. Yeah, we just like, I was in the band for a little bit, and then Eli and I, like, we just connected over our love for music, and we kind of shared a lot of the same favorite artists, and namely like Green Day and also Red Hot Chili Peppers. We were like geeking over them, and we just made, and then we decided to make music one day with like no expectation, kind of just like, okay, let's mess around, and then that's the day that Courtship was born.
Wow. Okay. And
496 pounds.
in the temple of Israel.
Okay. And what year was this? What year did the band start?
280.
All right.
2016.
Okay. And I know you had a record that came out in 2018. And prior to that, like when the band starts, like how do you just start playing locally around LA, and like how do you guys kind of get off the ground?
Not really. Yeah, it was it was just it started on Spotify and in blogs. We just kind of sent our music. We had like 4 songs that we just were sending around, and this guy Chad, who started. Do you remember the blog Hilly Dilly? It was like a really cool blog. I don't think it exists anymore, but he like kind of heard. He really loved it, and he signed our first song to he had like a singles label or something, singles thing, and kind of gave us that first like push. And it was so we were like an internet band first, and then we kind of had to figure out how to be a real band.
So when you got that first single signed, did it start doing pretty well? I mean, I would think. And then you were like, how do like we should take this, to and play in front of people?
Yeah, totally. We were it was like reverse engineering, like we were a song, and then and we had to become a band and learn how to play play our songs, and figure out how do we get around to play the songs.
Was that hard to do? Like, was it hard to think that, like, reverse engineer, like you said, the song, and think, okay, now we got to do this in a live setting. Like, how are we gonna accomplish this?
Just a learning process. Like, it's been fun though. Like, I think it's even been the last like 4 years, like 5 years. We've been like just like learning how to refine it live. And I feel like now, especially like this last year, like the last 2 tours we did, I feel like, Mike, do you agree? It used to be kind of be annoying, but now I feel like it's gotten fun. Like we want it to be great, and so we like refine it and like go in on it.
Yeah, it's like it seems like just like the aspect of making music, it's like a never-ending quest to sound great. There'll never be a point I can imagine where we're like, we've done it. Like this is the pinnacle of our live like music, and it's like we're always kind of like researching and picking people's brains and trying to find out like how to sound better live.
We're pretty unsatisfied, I would say that.
Okay.
Live shit especially.
All right. Well, was it like, kind of having the success online, or you said you're an internet band, like, were you seeing, like, when you post like, okay, we're going to play a show, were you seeing people that like knew your name and knew the song and were showing up to the show?
Actually, no, because the thing, an issue we've always had, which is interesting, is that people know our songs because our songs are like on shit and on Spotify, and like people hear our songs in H&M and like in Forever 21 and like Whole Foods, but no one like knows who we are.
Interesting.
And it's in a way, it's like it kind of goes both ways, right? Because it's like a curse in the sense of like, yeah, like we're still like a pretty small band, like in the scheme of things. But on the other side of it, like I think the way we've done it, we really made it about music. Like that's what we do. Like we make music in Mica's bedroom and now in his studio, and then we go on tour and play music. And like we really haven't spent that much time doing the other shit. Like we don't have a heavy social media presence. We don't spend a lot of time doing that. Our interest in doing it is zero. We do it because we have to.
Right.
And yes, it's just interesting. Like, yeah, that answers your question.
No. I think that's, is that something that you guys like enjoy? Like, I mean, for me, just because I'm an introverted person who wouldn't want to go out all the time and do stuff, like if I could just write songs and then they end up in H&M or whatever you're saying, like that to me sounds like the perfect storm. Like, is that something that you guys enjoy? Like, okay, we get to make the music and then it goes out and then people are actually hearing it. Or do you like the grind of going on the road and playing in front of people and all of that?
I think the answer to the question, that I think what's cool about Courtship and has always been my favorite aspect of it, is we don't push it to be something it isn't. We just don't. We don't push ourselves to be people we're not. And actually, when we do things like that, we're like, fuck, okay, that wasn't, and then we like adjust and like don't do shit like that. Like we just like do
like TikTok.
Yeah. Like we just do shit we want to do. Like part of what we love doing, and especially I feel this way, like I've fallen in love with it way more in the last year, is like going and being in front of people and playing shows and like being with real human beings and playing music and being together. That's so beautiful and so fun. but like sitting on the internet and like on TikTok makes me want to put a needle in my eye. It actually might be one of my least favorite. I like passionately dislike it. It really makes me feel awful.
I think it's two things. I think it's like the one side of it is like the self-promotion aspect of it, which is that's always been there. That's always going to be a thing. And so that's kind of like, I think always felt a little unnatural for both of us. But then I think the TikTok aspect of it is like 10x. It's like so intensifying that. You know, it used to be like, even like an Instagram post was promoting yourself, and then before that it was just like it was just fucking going playing shows and maybe like doing an interview here or there. But the TikTok side is like just shoving your face in front of your camera, and like, which is working for so many people, but it just feels unnatural to us.
I can totally relate to that, man. Like that for me, I just feel so cringy trying to do it. Like I feel too old. I'm like, am I too old to be like, dude?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not even, I'm old. I don't know how old you are, Mica, but Eli was pretty specific, and I'm quite a bit older than you. But I'm like, gosh, and you guys seem like you'd be, it just that we're talking, you're like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And like, hey, I don't know, just for me, it just is so hard. And
yeah, we are, by the way, we just like, we are old. Like, it's okay. And I'm not upset about it at all, but we just are.
You're not old.
No. But it is, we're of a different generation. Genuinely, we are. Like,
right.
I've gone to like a few shows recently of like kind of like more Gen Z bands. And like, I'm there and I'm like, I'm old. I'm just old, like straight up. Like this isn't my generation. Like I'm separate from this.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
but
fine.
you guys have huge success online, so I would imagine it being like, do you kind of feel like you have to lean into that TikTok world a little bit, or no?
No,
Just 'cause it's already working on Spotify.
Want us to, but we don't really do it.
Okay.
I just don't even like. I'm like, what do we even do?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think, but I think the other thing too, like for us is like, we're just like, we're not like desperate to be the biggest band in the world. We're just not like, like I think at the same time as a balance to that, like we, you know, we want to like be able to go on tour and like make money and like not make a ton of money, but make some money and like,
right.
You know, we
feed
want
yourself, get your sunny side up eggs, and
yeah,
you know.
So there's like a level that we want to get to that we're not at yet, and when we get there, we'll be satisfied. But like we don't like, we're not trying to be pop stars. So it's like, why would we kill ourselves and do like be depressed on fucking TikTok all day?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Well, with the record Denial Paradise, like tell me about when you put that album out. Was it even more like, was that another big milestone for you? I mean, it sounds like you put out some songs that got on this blog, and you got the one, you know, single deal, and you're getting, you know, internet success, and you have so many songs on that record that have millions upon millions of plays on Spotify. Like, tell me about those, that, you know, that record and that moment.
Gordon.
Yeah, that was a milestone for sure. I mean, it was like this our artistic souls and energy for the, you know, for a few years, like that we had, you know, worked super hard over, and like that was this like physical thing that like we could like, I mean, we actually had a bunch of CDs that we took on tour and just like sold and we gave to people, and like that was, and people still, believe it or not, like want CDs, which is like a funny thing. We're like, what? It's like, what are you talking?
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, like nothing can even play CDs. Maybe they want to frame it in like as like an old relic of the past.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was thinking like, oh, people could just burn, but that nobody even does that. Like my computer doesn't have a CD drive on it.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
But you put a record, didn't you put that out on vinyl? Like I saw it just on your Instagram.
Yeah. So, well, that the record itself actually wasn't on vinyl, but we just did. Yeah.
Okay, so that's new. I love that, man. The blue and yellow with the smiley face. Like, yeah, I think it's such really a sick.
Cool. It's cool. Yeah, we got to post about that again. Try to push some sales.
There you go. You should.
We're always trying to push sales.
We're always trying to push sales.
That's the courtship. That's the motto.
Oh, just
courtship.
pushing sales.
Any way we can.
Okay. Well, so you put it out on a CD and you were touring and selling it, and it was doing well that way as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was like we were selling hundreds of thousands of copies. I think it was
No, I know we were not.
But yeah, but people wanted it. Obviously, you knew something was happening, and people were excited about it.
Yeah, people were stoked about it. And we were stoked about it, and it was just like this fun thing to hold in your hand and give to people, which it's sad that.
I mean, it is. That's it. And then vinyl's so cool because it's bigger. You're like, I got this cool big,
Yeah,
it's just a different thing. The CD is just like not as impressive. It's like, okay, I got the CD. But
I know if it's bigger, it's better.
Right. And the artwork and just like the fact that it's on yellow vinyl, like there's a lot more to it.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, okay. So that record does obviously well. We're talking millions of streams online. And does that lead, like, what does that lead to? Just more eyes on you, or like, what was kind of the next moment?
I think it was good for us, like, put a record out, because like, kind of made us like a little bit more of a real band, have like an album out. I think that was good. And like, yeah, I think it just gave people something more like, oh yeah, like this is like this record that I don't know. It's just good. But albums are important. Albums are really good, I think.
Yeah, we're putting our second one out in like 2 months, which is exciting.
Wow. And is $1 Million Smoothie a part of the record, or is that just something that like a one-off thing that you did for the show?
I think it's gonna be on it, but the weird thing with that song was that basically because we did that show, that had to go through a different record label for that song. So as long as they let us do it, which they should, be super lame of them not to let us do it. So as long as they let us do it, then
well, it's interesting that you guys aren't, you just said that you're not huge fans of TikTok, or not TikTok in general, but just social media and doing those videos, when your performance is so creative on that show, and what you guys did on that show is so creative, and in the song in general. Like, how do you even get involved with the show, and like what made you guys decide, like, yeah, we should do this?
You want the honest story?
Yes.
So our managers got like a call from some casting people, and they're like, "You want to be on this submit for this reality show?" We said, "Absolutely no chance." And then they were like, "No, like really, like you should submit for it." And we're like, "No." And then they're like, "No, you should just do it. Like you don't have to do it if you get it." And we're like, and I literally said to them, I go, "We're going to get it, and then you're gonna pressure us to do it." And actually, no one pressured us. No one ended up pressuring us. It was what we decided to do it. But yeah, anyway, that's how it went. So then did
you submit the song, or like how did you apply for it?
They submitted the song.
So was the song already written, and it was like, okay, this would be kind of a good song to pitch.
It was going to be on the record, and we thought it'd be good for it.
Okay, and then you get on the show, and is it like now you have to come up with some way to perform it, or like how does the show then work once you get?
So there's these creative directors named Paul and Jerry, who are awesome, and they like did everything. Like we didn't do any of that shit. Like they totally designed the whole performance of it. And that was the most fun part of it. Like they're so cool and creative.
Yeah, that was by far the best part.
Was it hard to kind of do the choreography of the thing? Like, you guys kind of pop up and you're doing like, it's more of like a performance piece, right? Was that something totally new for you?
Yeah,
for sure.
It was funny.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, we practiced like Eli handing me like a mug like 20 times. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. And then I had to take the mug, take a sip, and then put it in this little pouch that you couldn't see was hidden. It was hidden to the audience. Okay. And
careful, Mica. You might be violating an NDA right now.
Yeah, I better keep my mouth shut.
There's probably some other things we shouldn't say.
But it was fun. So the show is like it was like similar to Eurovision, right? But you were a state, so you pick Oregon because you're from Oregon. Eli could you have gone with California, or was there somebody already? Do you pitch for the state you want to do?
Yeah, I think that our managers were like, let's pitch you for Oregon because Eli's from Oregon, and that was the way that they
probably would not have gotten it if we pitched from California.
Well, I didn't know how that worked. If they just selected a handful of people and then you got to be like, okay, well, I'm from California, so we're going to claim California or vice versa or whatever.
For Oregon, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Did you enjoy the show? I mean, I wish you would have advanced because, like I said, your performance was super dope.
Thank you. It was fun. Yeah, I mean, like, it was a fun experience to work with Jerry and Paul.
Yeah, no, it was. That was the really fun experience. It was cool. It was really cool to like be involved in like such a high level production of something with people.
And also like obviously like, you know, it was fun to be a part of the show, you know, like to have, you know, millions of eyes on your music, you know, that was cool at once, you know, but I think kind of back to like the promotion TikTok-y vibe that me and Eli are not. I think that aspect of it was not us and never will be us. And I think that like we just had always kind of during the whole process of the show, we're like, this is crazy. Why are we even doing this? Like we feel so out of place. And
clearly America thought we were out of place too.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you guys did awesome. So
we had fun. I mean, we're like, you know,
sorry, go ahead. Well, so that's part of the record. Is the record's complete, or are you still working on it?
Just getting mixed right now, so it's pretty much done.
Wow. And when did you start working on the album?
3 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So like, does COVID allow for more time to work on the record? Did that affect the album at all?
Yeah. Did it affect it? I don't know if it did. But I like doing it this way. I mean, it's nice. Like it's just kind of like it's like the conglomeration of just like 3 years of different kind of versions of being creative and messing around. And
yeah, we for like a week or two, I think we got an Airbnb in Cambria. You know where Cambria is?
Is that in Canada?
No, it's in it's like in LA. Sorry, it's like a few hours north of LA.
Cambria. That sounds familiar. I don't know what I'm thinking of.
It's like a gorgeous little beach town. And me and Eli just got an Airbnb there and took a bunch of our gear there and just wrote and produced for like a week. And like half the songs in the album are from that
really
trip. So that was really cool. And that was a kind of like COVID thing that I think we would not have done otherwise.
We like going on romantic trips together.
Okay.
Yes.
Was the record written there, or did you record? Was a lot of the stuff that you recorded there? Did that make the album?
We do kind of both. It's kind of both at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. And was $1 Million Smoothies supposed to be this? Was that the single you were going to put out anyway, or did it just kind of land that way with the show?
Yeah, we were going to put that out as a single anyway, and we thought that was the most like kind of weird, fun, quirky like song to put on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eurovision.
Like, I have a question for you. Do you get any sense of irony from that song, or like satire?
In what sense?
In $1 Million, I'm taking it as a no. Like, yeah, it's so interesting. So maybe that's our fault. Like, the whole song for us, like, is about like, you know, like making fun of like ridiculous like health products and like.
That's what I thought you were going with. Like, you know, the fact that you're going to go spend. I mean, it could go anyway, right? Like a latte that you're spending like $15 on for whatever reason, but like the health kick of all these different, like, I don't want to name names of companies, but like, yeah, like you can
Goop, Erewhon, Gwyneth Paltrow.
We'll do it for you. We'll do it for you.
We're happy to name.
Yeah, so that was that kind of the idea behind it then. So it was.
Yeah. Okay, good. So you got it. I mean, yeah, I think I kind of was like, damn, it's like this. I think one of the satire of this like went over people's head. Like there was no other song on that show that had like any sort of like tone like that.
Right. And I didn't want to ask the obvious question or ask a question like that and have you be like, give me some. Never mind, forget it. I've dug myself into a hole that way before. So okay, yeah. So it was a take on all of that.
Yeah, of course,
health
yeah,
nut lifestyle, and I'm sure you see it quite a bit there in Santa Monica area.
of course, yeah.
Okay.
And I think that America wasn't privy to the message.
They were like this. Watch, huh? Like, huh?
It was, yeah, you never know, man. I mean, isn't that interesting? Like how you think this would be spot on, and then maybe they just didn't understand it. Like they didn't get the joke. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did get that. I have no idea. No, you did awesome. That's the thing that's interesting about it. Like, how did that not kill, and how did you not advance? But I don't know.
It's okay.
But you did say that you're glad you didn't.
Yes.
Okay. Well, again, talk to me about the record. So it was recorded there in just north of LA. The album's done. It's being mixed. And is $1 Million Smoothie kind of set a tone for this record, or?
No, that one's really different. It doesn't sound like that really at all. I think that's the only one that sounds like that.
Yeah,
Everything else.
we have trap drums on $1 Million Smoothie. we have some trap hats on that song. And we don't use trap hats.
Okay. What about like message wise? Like, is it kind of quirky like that? Like in that,
Yeah,
sense?
I think so. I mean, I think like I think there's kind of like a mix, but there are other songs that are kind of like one of our singles is called Better Than Real Life, and it's just about like dating using Tinder or whatever, or some other apps.
It's about getting catfished.
Yeah, it's about getting catfished. And so, yeah, so there is some, like, I guess some other songs that are like kind of commentary on the times, but it's a mix of things. A lot of it's about love and, relationships, obviously.
I love it. Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear. I like said that I love the performance you guys did and $1 Million Smoothie. I think it's a rad song as well. So I'm excited to hear the rest of the record. Do you have a release date for it?
July
Something.
14th, I think.
Awesome. And are you doing a support for it, like a tour to support it?
We're
trying to.
We're trying to.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you both doing this today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks so much for having us on.
Where do you live?
I live in Nashville, but I'm from San Diego. So.
Oh, amazing.
Oh yeah.
Well,
what part of Diego?
I grew up in like Rancho Bernardo area. Do you know that spot? It's basically Del Mar. I lived east of Del Mar.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which one did you play? Oh, you did.
Yeah.
When did you play Kaboo? A couple of years ago?
2018.
Really? Who headlined it that year? I think that was such a rad festival. And then they were supposed to move it to
Foo Fighters, Post Malone, and Earth, Wind & Fire.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, they moved. Well, I don't know what they're going to do now with COVID, but it was supposed to be moved to the baseball stadium. And I don't know how they were going to do it there, but I don't know.
Yeah,
that
weird.
Was because that location was so good for that festival. It was beautiful. Yeah, but that's cool. You guys played Kaboo. So cool. I live just east. I grew up just east of there. I actually grew up in. Speaking of Blink-182, I grew up in Poway, so that's where those guys were originally from.
Dude, I just watched
Tony Hawk.
Both the Tony Hawk.
Oh yeah, the new documentary that he has.
Yeah,
dude, it's unbelievable.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet, to be honest. Right. But he's from like Encinitas, so I'm sure he talks all about San Diego.
Yeah.
That's killer. Cool. Well, again, thank you both so much for doing this. One more quick question, if I can get an answer from you each, if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Yeah. I mean, I think Eli, maybe you'll say the same thing, but like, definitely like, just write and make music that like you love and that, that you would listen to over and over again. And because that's the only reason why we like to do it, is just to make stuff that we love, and like it makes us happy, and that's the only reason why anyone should do anything. So don't make stuff for other people, make stuff for yourself.
Love it.
Yeah, that's way better than what I was gonna say. I think
What are you gonna say? Make your eggs over medium.
Yeah.
I'd say just realize that to do it for real is a life commitment, and just give yourself to it. And the thing that you're giving yourself to is the craft and the process of making it. And then there's making music, and then there's all these other aspects that go into like bringing it into the world and like making it your life and having people listen to it and stuff. And that's fine. You got to do those things, but like make your life about making music.